All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm still Scott Schulte, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for tuning us in. If that's what you're doing, you've been with us all day. Well, it's my job to give you this information in a timely manner. Maybe it makes you stay. Let's take these prices might not make you stay. We've turned for the worse here. Let's see how we stand right now. Let's bring up that corn board. Here we go. Corn's down 12 cents. I guess that's a little bit better than it was the last time we talked. It was down 13 the last time. 5.97 is last. We've got we're 2 cents off the lows in July. Let's go out to the new crop D. So that's down 3.5 cents to 5.37 3/4, and that's what 2.5 cents off the lows there. So I guess we could say we've consolidated, maybe. Oh, that's what we'll use. It's consolidated, but we still don't like to see the market turn like it has. How about soybeans in Chicago? What are they doing? They're I guess we can try to call this mixed. We're down 1 1/4 cents in July. 13.51 1/4 is last there, but we do have an August board that's up a tick, right? 12.62 3/4. And that's in the middle of the day's range, too. As you go out to the NOV, that's down 1.5 cents to 11.82 1/4. We were thinking about maybe $12. Look at that. We got up to about 5 cents of it, with 11.95 is the high in NOV. But to no avail, we've fallen back. Let's take a look at wheat in Chicago. Chicago wheat's up here, 3 3/4 cents in July. 6.22 3/4 is last there. So that's turned around a little bit. We're still 9 cents off the highs, though. If you go out to the D's, that's 2.5 cents higher there to 6.54 1/2. What about from Chicago to Kansas City? We'll take a look at the hard red. That's higher too. These have all turned around. July's up 9 3/4 cents now to 8.22 even. That's still about 8 cents off the highs. 8 3/4 cents off the highs. We've got a D board that's up 8 cents to 8.11 1/2, and that too is about 11 cents off the highs there, right in the middle of the day's range. If we go from Kansas City out to Minneapolis, we'll see what we've got going on in spring wheat. Spring wheat's added to some of their gains as well. 8 1/4 cents higher in that July contract. 8.16 is last there. We've got a 9 3/4 cents higher D board to 8.21 3/4, and about 6 1/4 cents off the highs. Cotton, what's that doing? Not a lot. Down 10 points in July. 85.95 is last there. And we have a D board that's up 20 cents to 82.05. Let's bring in our next guest analyst. It's Todd Horowitz with Bubba Trading in Las Vegas. Todd, thanks for being on the show. Well, wheat's turned around. I guess that's a start.
Well, Scott, the wheat was much higher earlier and overnight, and the turnaround from overnight, and basically, I think a lot of them made their secondary highs right after they reopened this morning, and they've been kind of working their way lower. Wheat did go actually negative, and they now is positive. I can take it that either way. I can be worried about it or say, hey, we're getting some movement and some price action, and maybe we're going to break out. Again, I think one of the biggest hindrances with the way the action's been is the equity markets continue to push higher, which makes no sense either. But that is money that would be normally flowing into the grain markets as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody's kind of on a risk on a little bit of an environment right now. I know that we have to go day to day by the weather. But this, if we do get some sort of weather rally, that plays into your hands. You've wanted to be a bull here for a while.
I want to be a bull, and I think I should be a bull. Again, I can't. When I look at the logical side of the market, and I go, there's a lot of demand. Our inputs are ridiculously high. There's not enough profit being made. But why aren't prices going higher? And it does not make sense. And of course, we know that markets don't have to make sense, right? The old saying was they can be irrational longer than they can remain solvent. So it's a weird situation. I do suspect that we'll see some weather and that we'll see some higher prices, but right now it's just hard to get them going. The strongest being corn, even though it's lower today.
All right, I want you to tell me I'm wrong here, because I really think that we need, if we want to see these prices get going, we need to see some demand come through. I think that's really been what's been, if we're bringing in wheat from Poland and beans from Brazil, that's a problem.
It is a problem, and it's kind of the mess that we've made out of everything that we do in this country right now. I mean, if you relate it all back, from letting Saudi Arabia supply us with oil, letting OPEC supply us with oil, we're making dramatic mistakes that do not help the American economy and the American farmers.
Yeah, you're right, because that would, we wouldn't be. I agree with you. I don't. If I go down that rabbit hole right now, that's way too early in my day to do that. But anyway. Stay right there. We need to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more. Todd, Bubba Horowitz, Bubba Trading in Las Vegas after this. All right, welcome back. Let's talk about what's happening in the four-legged area, right? That's going to be the proteins, the livestock, the meats, whatever you want to call them. We just want to see the prices. Why don't we bring up live cattle from behind my big fat head and see what's going on? All right, live cattle. We've got a June board that's up 82 cents. to 177.25. That's still about up a buck off the highs, right in the middle of the day's range. Let's call it that's what it is. Let's go out to Deese live cattle, and that's a 30-cent gain to 179.47. There you go. That's steady, a little bit better across the board when we talk about live cattle. Let's go see what we've got going on in the feeders. They're higher, but not by much. Actually, we've given back a few pennies here since the last time we took a look at this board. August is only up 30 cents at 242.20. And we've got Nova up 5 cents, just 2 ticks to 247.85. So that one is just trying to stay on the right side of unchanged, only up between a nickel and 30 cents across the board. That's feeder cattle for you in Chicago. Finally, let's take a look at what lean hogs look like. Lean hogs, well, the fronts are down, the backs are up. We got a 97-cent loss in the June, 85.75 there, but well off the lows. We go out to the deferreds. We got to go out to the Deese. That's up 52 cents to 73.92. Let's bring back in our guest analyst. It's Todd Horwitz from Bubba Trading. Todd, thanks for sticking around. What do you think about the four-legged fronts, these livestock prices? What's going on?
Look, we're at all-time highs in fats and feeders. There's no reason that they should go lower. I don't think there's an explosion in the upside. I mean, as a trader, I'd be leaning to trying to short them somewhere around here. Okay. But they keep wanting to go up, and obviously we know the supply. You and I talked on Friday about that it's going to take 2 or 3 years to build it back. At the end of the day, I don't think they can explode much higher, but I don't think they're going a dramatic amount lower yet. I think there'll be things that'll change. And hogs although they're lower today, look to have put in the bottom last week as we had the 2 big days on Thursday and Friday to push them back up, and I think they look like they're heading back to the north side of town.
Have you seen the CFO from Costco came out over the weekend saying he's now just starting to see people push away from the higher prices when it comes to the beef and kind of go down the value chain as far as proteins go. And that's something that he hasn't seen for a while, and now it's just starting to crack open. What do you think about that?
Oh, I think that's correct. And I think if you have a lack of supply, the people that can afford it are still going to buy, which is still going to create them a demand in the product that's short. And of course, the masses are going to be buying hogs, and if not, then poultry, because of course they're going to go down the chain of protein.
Great place to end it on what you can buy. You can afford the beef. I can afford the poultry. That's what it goes. That's the way it goes.
I got to use powder.
It's that line. I've got a pond and a pool. The pool's fine for you. The pond is fine for me. There we go. Thank you very much, Todd Horwitz, Bubba Trading in Las Vegas.